Hello, everybody, and welcome back to today's weather tonight. I'm Cloud Hudson here as always. I'm your comedian slash meteorologist for the night, and I will be bringing you the latest updates on all the weather hits from today. I don't know why I said that like a radio DJ. I'm still trying to find the groove of my little intro spiel. So, welcome back, everybody. I'm glad to see you back. I hope you're back. Don't see anybody here yet, but I trust that I will. If you're new here, hi, hello. What this is a Rearcast, a comprehensive weather Rearcast. It's like a forecast only for what already happened. What's that useful for? I don't know. Maybe you're a time traveler and you're trying to figure out which timeline you landed on. What happened on the February 3rd, 2004 that you just got to? Well, it's this stuff. For all of you folks who don't think of yourselves as time travelers, I don't know, maybe you just didn't see the weather at the entire world. So I'm gonna fill you in. And I do comprehensive weather, which means everything from the magmatic core of the earth to the tectonic level to the atmospheric level up to the solar level, all the way out to the planetary level and to the cosmic level, which we can't see with, current scientific instruments. So I'll use card pulls for that. So that's my perspective of how the waveforms work. Let's jump into it. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at our volcanoes today. So we've still got Lewotolo erupting, some light volcanic ash and flow, volcanic plume that reached about 7,000 feet. Merapi is still fuming, it seems like, and we've got new activity from a new volcano, Dukono in Indonesia. It's in the island of Indonesia that looks like it should be part of the Philippines. It's like the one that right in the middle of the triangle of Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. Right in the middle of that has started to spit out some volcanic ash. Now let's take a look at, this is the Kilauea rift zone. This is where we're looking for activity from Kilauea in Hawaii, but it doesn't seem that, let's see, I don't want to say it before. Elevated seismic swarm continues, getting real shallow, and the deflation is still occurring. Now you're thinking, wouldn't it be inflating if it's filling with magma? Yes and no. It actually deflates where the magma is getting the hottest and closest to the surface. Think of it like melting an ice from below. The top of the earth, once it swells to a certain point, will get all the energy from swelling put into melting the rock, and it deflates. And so we're seeing continued deflation, which means, kind of any day now, there could be an eruption. Popocatépetl, still can't say it very well, is still erupting, still seeing large volcanic emissions from an explosive activity in Fuego, not in Fuego, but from Fuego volcano in Guatemala. Nevado de Luis in Colombia is still got some reports to give. Reventador, Samancaya, sporadic emissions. So it looks like maybe in Peru that's slowing down just a little bit. And remember, we've still got Mount Ibu, and we're looking at the Reykjanes Peninsula still. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and check on, let's see if there's any news from Iceland, the land of ice and fire. Fun name. Ooh, yes, we had a magnitude 3 or greater today. That would be, that was technically very early yesterday. I don't know how I didn't catch. Oh, this is since my last broadcast. Very much since my last broadcast. Right after my last broadcast, we saw looks like a 3.3, 3.4 That would be here where this green star is. We saw another one try to break the 3 barrier. I really wish I could click on these data points and figure out which one it was. But look, we've also got some activity out on the ridge, out on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, the Rearcast Ridge. So let's see how far out. Well, it doesn't extend too far out. See if the entire North Atlantic has any more to show. Yeah, it looks like more in these northern peninsulas, more to the north of the Vatnajökull. I forget which fracture zone this is. And some more recent developments in South Iceland. So really, really heating up there. I think these clusters look roughly diurnal, but I just spitballing there. Diurnal has nothing to do with a urinal. I know it sounds like it's related to pee or something, but diurnal means daily cycles. Diurnal, like a day urinal. I don't know. Sounds like a urinal you can only use during the day, or a urinal that will kill you. Diurnal. Okay, let's move on from bad puns. See if they've got any new news and alerts. Let's see. Oh yeah, I didn't read this the other day, but they're estimating that there's about 6.5 million cubic meters of magma that's accumulated below the Svartsengi region, which, remember, is the region where they have the power plant for the entire peninsula. And that means that soon they'll be reaching the same amount, the same volume, the same hunk size of magma will be reached soon. That was reached the last time it erupted. The last time this area erupted, we're getting pretty close to that same volume filling up. So, like I've been saying, I'm expecting I think there's going to be a roughly monthly period between these eruptions. So, but it looks like we might even have it sooner than a full month. It is very possible. The experts have been saying that it's more likely that this eruption will have less in the way of erupting, which means there will be a shorter notice time. Like all of this work, I mean, I don't know why I'm putting it in working quotes. It's literally physics work, like force over distance. All the work that's been put into moving the rocks out of the way or melting the rocks so that the lava can or magma can escape to be lava. All of that work has been put into this area so that there's going to be a little less of it. That's not the only reason why notice time is going to be lower. It's a clearer path to eruption now than it was for the past eruption. The past eruption, they got like a good 5 hours notice because it was such a difficult path for the magma to find the surface, but they're estimating that this should have a clearer shot of finding the surface. And some experts have said that it will probably happen between the two previous eruption zones. You see this dark patch, that's the first eruption we saw back in December. The second patch is the second eruption we saw back in January. And the experts are calling for between, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't want to click on it because then I can't zoom very well. This mountain right here is Stora Skogafell, and this is Hagafell. And the experts are thinking that the eruption will happen somewhere in between these two mountains. But that's a rough estimate. I also, again, not to be a doomsayer or a naysayer, I do think that this is at more risk than they want to admit. I think that this zone 1 being where the Blue Lagoon and the Swartsangi power plant are. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at there. They've got new, there's a new type of hazard that they called crack collapse, which is like the ground faults that are open cracks in the surface of the ground could just like give in. Imagine like like there's already a giant crack in the earth and it's going to sinkhole itself. That's what we're looking at. Hello to my 2 viewers. I'm back on Facebook for this broadcast. We'll see if they let me keep the stream up. But just a reminder, if you're watching on Facebook, I don't see your comments live because it slows down my connection to have Facebook open. But I can see people's comments if you're on YouTube or Twitter. Yeah, I'm still streaming on Twitter. I've had a Twitter for 15 years and I won't let Elon Musk take it away from me. Okay. Now, can you tell I'm a Taurus? I'm just a little stubborn about that. Okay, let's take a look now at our earthquakes. I mean, earthquakes are really what we look at, are one of the things that we mainly look at for, okay. All right, let's see. Looks like something's popping off here. Let me make sure that I've got the correct days in here. I actually want to go through from February 1st. I kind of want to keep in from February 1st, but I'm going to go from the 2nd and to latest available. Just because there wasn't much, I want to see the pattern, but I'm going to stick true to form and only do the last 24 hours. Y'all got any feedback? Y'all got any feedback on what makes the show funny? Let me know. Okay, so the other day I said it looked like things were slowing down in this area of South America, but it looks like perhaps we've gotten a new deep quake in Bolivia, a 4.5 at 535 kilometers down, and then about half that depth down at 281, we had a 4.6. That was today, so the deep one was yesterday. The middle deep one was today. And there are actually 2 middle deep ones at 4.7 at 245 kilometers and 4.6 at 281 kilometers. And let's see who else was today. We had a shallow 4.2 today at 25 kilometers down. This Argentina quake was today, just after midnight UTC. And this was also, no, this was yesterday. Actually, I want to turn on satellite. I don't know why my bookmark version of this page always goes to map. I swear I've tried to save it many different ways. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. There was a 5.1 in Oklahoma. That's kind of like the biggest Oklahoma has seen. And I want to say, it was like 5 or 10 years. Don't quote me on it, but I know I'm the reporter, but no, this one. Yeah, the 5.08 at 3 kilometers depth. Now, I think it's normal to see 10-kilometer deep earthquakes as shallow quakes, but this one was like a 5 at 3 kilometers deep. That's pretty shallow for a 5. I bet people felt it in Oklahoma. So, and then that was quickly followed by 2.6, 2.2s. And then shortly after that, immediately after the 5, we had the two somethings. And then 2 hours later, lots of 2s, we had a 2.1 and a 1.6 at around 7-ish. And those aftershocks, if they were aftershocks, were slightly deeper down at 6 kilometers ish deep rather than at 3. And then we had some small, these are all from today. So we had some small tremor quakes, aftershock size quakes here in Oklahoma. more activity in West Texas. This is near drill points, but this is also a stripe of Texas that I've seen just in the past month. I've seen a lot of earthquakes in this particular orientation along I think this is technically the panhandle of Texas, but I don't know if we call it that. All right, here in, this is kind of the middle of nowhere, Springdale, Utah, we had a 3.5 at 11 kilometers down. That sticks out to me because it doesn't look like the normal flow pattern. It looks like we've tapered off from what usually goes down that Eastern California, Nevada border. Looks like this has swept itself into the Utah border area. We have out here in I think it's the Juan de Fuca fracture zone, we've got 4.9, 3.4, both at 10 kilometers deep. Those were yesterday. We had a 3.95 today at 25 kilometers down, and still seeing a lot of that momentum shimmying its way through. I think of it as shimmying. I don't know what I mean by that, but it shimmies through the momentum just shimmies through California. And then we of course see some regular above the Yellowstone caldera type little tiny tremor earthquakes. They're all some of these are at positive depths, which to me screams like a geyser or something. That positive 2 kilometers depth, that's 2 kilometers in the air. Maybe that's on top of a mountain. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm gonna have fun making things up. I will always tell you if I'm making something up, though. To my knowledge, I'm never lying to you, but is it a lie if I don't know that I'm wrong? Tell that to very many people. Okay, it is. We saw a little bit of activity off of Canada's coast. Well, no, this is technically Alaska there. And then still seeing a lot of activity into the I think it's called the Middle Passage of Alaska, all the way from the Aleutian Islands into the Fairbanks region. And some of the northern Alaska stuff is slowed down for now. We got some pretty nicely evenly spaced quakes along the I forget the name of this subduction zone, but the Kuril Islands, and some of those were yesterday. These two, no, this one was extremely recent because this was technically reading on the 4th. See this. Which one was 3? Okay. This shallow quake and this shallow quake were yesterday, and then this shallow quake and this deeper quake were today. So they kind of boom, boom, the same distance between the two quakes just moved over the same amount. Very interesting. Oh, we've got a new quake in the middle of China. This is it's counting as the Yanglong region of China. Well, 233 kilometers southwest of Yanglong, China. And then right next to it, we had a 4.5. Oh, that one was a magnitude 5 at 10 kilometers depth. Shocker. And then, shocker, because if there's a shallow quake, I've been seeing them at 10 all year that I've been doing this. And a 4.5 at 36 kilometers depth. Still seeing residual aftershocks in the Kyrgyzstan China border region. That Aikol, not egg hole, Aikol, I still don't know how to say it. In that city in Kyrgyzstan, and all of these have been 4.5 to 4.9s at 10 kilometers depth, just really regularly throughout the day. Since this is like a week and a half, 2 weeks now that they've had these aftershocks going on in Kyrgyzstan. So thoughts and prayers for everybody there. I hope that their water and power are doing all right. I hope everybody's surviving pretty well there. Still mad that this counts as India and not Burma, because it should count as the... Anyway, Myanmar. But they did have another quake there. Let's see. We've got one today in Indonesia. We had a 4.4 at 61 kilometers depth. Just south of Jakarta, we also had one at 4.5 at 10 kilometers depth. And then here, this is where that new volcanic activity is happening. We had a 5.1 at 63 kilometers depth in Tobelo, Indonesia. Modisi, and is this one deep? Yes. That's a 4.5 at 159 kilometers depth. So hard to see it there, but there's a little yellow dot under there. And then we had two here in the Philippines, one yesterday and one today. So very close in size. The more northern one was yesterday and the southern one was today. So that looks like momentum going that way. And then we had two like twinning owl eyes of quakes right here, a 4.4 and a 4.5. That was yesterday. I don't know why I didn't mention it yesterday. Sorry. We had a 4.2 at 316 kilometers deep over near the Mariana Trench. We've got near Vanuatu, another 5.2 at 240 kilometers depth, medium deep. This is yesterday's, isn't it? No, this is a brand new one, a new 5.1, like between Tonga and Samoa. That's at 68 kilometers depth. And then finally, yesterday's 5 at 10 kilometers depth in the Comedic Islands. Let's zoom out and see what else we can see. Let's see. Let us see. Okay, or you don't want to let us see. Okay. Maybe we're frozen. Okay, we can be frozen too. That's fine. You know, yeah, we ask a lot of technology. Sometimes it doesn't ask for much in return. There we go. That's the more like it. Okay. Oh, I did want to also note, here in Venezuela, we had what's this count as? It's really off the coast of Venezuela. I read a cool book once that had a plot point off the coast of Venezuela. Okay. Guiria, Venezuela. I don't know which language I'm supposed to pronounce that in. 4.9 at 82 kilometers deep. They've had a lot of activity in this area today. I think you can't see me hovering. They jump when I hover over them. So, okay. This was yesterday. But then today goes down this way. It looks like all of today's quakes were closer to Puerto Rico. These are, let's see if it'll give me Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, and what's this? Are they all going to say the same city? It's not all the same. Yeah, they're all registering as the same city, but I think the island's just too small for the little map to figure it out. And then we had one in Guatemala. Of course, I think this is also near a volcano. I forget which one. I think it's... Don't remember off the top of my head which one I said was erupting there, but I would guess that it's probably related to the eruption. And then in Peru, back where we started, a 5.1 at 41 kilometers deep. We had that. And then that long chain of really moving from like Peru to Paraguay. All right, let's go now to our atmospheric weather. Whoa. Talking about the atmosphere on a weather show. Crazy talk. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Lost all 2 of my viewers, but that's okay. Probably just my parents upstairs wanting to go sleep. Okay, let's take a look at our frontal analysis. Woo, that looks curvy. Doesn't that look severe? That is a severe negative tilt right there. You like negative tilt meaning like that thing. It looks like it has a negative slope rather than a positive slope. Like, you know, y equals mxb back from math class, that when they started using letters and you forgot to pay attention anymore. The slope intercept formula, when the slope is negative, it points that way. And that is good for accumulating angular momentum, which can convert into vorticity, and because whirliness and twirliness and up and downness. You know, let's take a look at, I want to see some live action on here, because frontal analysis is nice and everything, but it's like, it's very weird. Like, we've got, this looks like it could be its own little cyclone with the cold front and the warm front up here meeting and spinning in a center of circulation there. And then we've got a stationary front. No, that has got to be an occluded front. That's an occluded front, occluded by this front. And then we've got really weird. I want to see it in motion. I don't personally, frontal analysis doesn't really get my brain going. Like, it doesn't translate. I need to see more. I need to see more shapes. I need the shapes to mean more than they mean. Let's look at warm air advection. Okay, yeah. So warm air advection makes more sense to me because it's where warm air is moving, where you're getting new warm air. And this one also has the wind, and I believe, I thought this had humidity on it, but maybe I was wrong. But you can see warm air advecting in from, so we're getting winds across Texas down into the Gulf and feeding that Gulf moisture right back up into this frontal area. So yeah, that would be an occluded front. This is occluded, like occulted. It's hidden. It's sneaky. It's behind the curtain. It's the man behind the curtain type of front. And you think this is the main front, and then there's also something wacky going on back here. And there is a lot of wacky stuff going on back here. This looks like some sinking, trying to trough down air, but we've still got a big center of circulation off the coast. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and look at GOES. There he goes. Okay. Look at our derived winds. Yeah. Okay. Now you can see it. Now you can see this is where it's looking more like a normal front. And this is where it's like, this is, what are we even doing over here? We're getting silly over here. We're getting a little silly over there. Here's our nice divergence aloft, getting things to suck up. Divergence, you can think of as sucking motion. Convergence is blowing motion. I don't know how else to, I'm not trying to dumb it down. I'm trying to say it in words that make the most intuitive sense, because I don't like to talk in overly academic language. So y'all have to let me know when I'm not making any sense, and I'll put it in shapier language that makes more sense for your shapes brain, because I don't think there's enough shapes brain talking out there. Okay, so looking beautiful out here. This is trying to circulate. This is also trying to circulate, but not really having, it's not getting the feedback that you'd want. It's not really getting enough of this north to south wind to feed into this area of circulation. It's kind of trying right here, but still got a lot of, I think we've got a lot of this northern component from this offshore circulation. We got the north winds from this big swirly guy out here, and that's kind of keep making it that makes it harder for the winds to feed back into this guy right here. And then what you see right here, this is what you would want to see on the other side if we were feeding in a good circular way. But now we've got some northerly winds up here. I mean, it's just all a bit cattywampus, but that makes for some fun storms, because when you get weird geometry, the storms get fun. Let's look at goes west derived winds, because I want to see that beautiful, beautiful circulation. Ooh, look at both of these. So you know how I was saying there's more happening behind the storm? I think this is that leftover low, and this is something that's come in its wake and is now looking like more of a major player, because it's got that nice comma shape already. Looks like it'll be more of a major player for the West Coast, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're not already getting rain right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our hazard maps, because that looks to me like rain. Let's take a look at, I guess I'll do pivotal weather for this. Hope it doesn't slow my own connection down too much. Welcome to weather. Okay. Let's look at the National Weather Service hazards. Yeah. That's what I was expecting. A lot of rain and high winds and upper elevation winter storm warnings over here in California. Getting their nice, wet, rainy season in. Flash flood alerts near the Bay Area. Got a lot of dense fog warnings up here in the northern plains, and looks like we've got a winter storm breaking out in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado region. This is also where we've got volcanic activity, the Yellowstone caldera area, so that would be gorgeous if you're taking a vacation out there right now. You get to see Yellowstone in white. Don't eat the Yellowstone snow. I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to make this a little funnier, but it's not funny if you try too hard. This is a red flag warning, and it's really hard to distinguish from a winter storm warning. Where's the blizzard warning? Oh, I guess these really high elevations in Colorado are getting that blizzard warning. Red flag warning. Red flag warning. I think that's a wind. I think that's a wind warning. I've never... You know what? Catching me off my game. Red flag. They don't know what a red flag is. Yeah. Oh, it means warm temperatures, very low humidities, and stronger winds are expected to combine to produce an increased risk of fire danger. That's what it is. Ha ha ha. Okay. So that's really surprising. This is the area of Texas that didn't get a whole lot of rain. Right next to a red flag warning, we've got these flash flood advisories. So that's fun. It's so fun when moisture is unevenly distributed. Flash flood warning in the little thingies, the little OK sign fingers of Louisiana. And it looks like they've got a severe thunderstorm warning as well. Is that God? Okay. Note to the National Weather Service: hire a better color grader. Hire some more graphics people. I'm sorry, that would mean that they'd have to have a budget. Sorry, didn't mean to rub it in. Wait, hey, I don't have a budget and my colors look great. Get on it. Hire some prettier nerds, you know? Hire the nerds that dress cool. maybe your maps would look better. Okay, sorry, I'm not here to roast National Weather Service, unless you want me to. I'm not going to roast the National Weather Service. I'm going to roast their bosses. Okay, let's take a look at... No, I don't want to look at forecasts. I want to look at our observations. Okay, observations, real temperature, real-time analysis. Let's see what this is doing. This also gives us a little better view of where we're swirling. So this is swirling up this way. This is all the hot and dry air that like picks up the Gulf of Moisture. I keep calling it the Gulf of Moisture. It picks up the Gulf of Mexico air. And then, yeah, oh God, they're getting up into the 80s and it's still like winter dry. So that's not great. I can see why they have the red flag warnings. Red flag, we're at the Texas border. Red flag. All right. And we're kind of sucking this up into here. This looks like this is feeding moisture into... So we've got California rain coming from this way, and we've got Gulf of Mexico moisture making it all the way up into the northern plains. This is a wild trend to see. I think this is also one of... like they're finally getting this 40s and 50s temperatures all the way up here, which is probably why they're seeing those dense fog advisories. As you can see, we got into, I mean, some elevations in the southern Appalachians got into the 60s and 70s today. So not bad, not bad. Definitely something that you would see on a day after a Groundhog Day where they saw their shadow. Okay, but I am hoping that we swirl back in and get a little bit more cold air before the spring comes, because the flowers are getting a little bit confused. So I would like another, not a deep freeze, but another good freeze to remind the flowers to go to sleep for a few more weeks. You need a good freeze and thaw cycle here in the southeast for the way that the biome works, the way that the natural, like the native seeds want to like get their wax coatings. Why am I talking about seeds? I'm going to talk far too long if I start talking about seeds. Let's go now to our solar weather. Okay. Yeah, I will. Listen, don't get me started on farming. I'll talk way too long. Not that I don't always. Okay. So not seeing too much. We only had, what do we have? 6 coronal mass ejections today. Not too many, and not super intense or long either. But 3 of these were from a really interesting sunspot region. Let's take a look at... I want to go look at the sunspot regions because I don't really go into this part much. But this new one that we've got, or new to being cool, I would say, is 3575. It is a beta, gamma, delta type sunspot region, which means a beta, gamma orientation of the poles with a delta sunspot in it. Now, what's that mean? I'm still learning myself, so I won't try to explain it, but it looks cool. It looks very complex. Yeah, look at this. It like on the magnetogram, you can see this looks like a beautiful storm. I mean, if you think of North and South poles as being warm and cold air, which I do, this looks like it's working itself into, whipping itself up into a frenzy, whipping itself up into a nice juicy storm of a sunspot region. And then I think this is the beta gamma part and this is the delta that's mixed in, but I might be wrong on that. But even on just the thermal imaging of it, it looks gnarly to say the least. And it was looking less swirly when I checked on it earlier in the day, and it is just growing. So that's really cool. We've also got this interesting region rotating into view. That looks like a whopper to me. Looks like we're going to get some fun stuff out of that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overview of our solar activity. Let's see what that means for us. So got that coronal facing away, rotating kind of out of view. Let's see. Our solar proton flux is slowly working its way back down to nominal, but it's been elevated for quite a chunk of time. See, what did our solar flares do today? Okay, yeah, I expected this general trend upward. Y'all see how there's like a line of, like, the line of best fit has a positive slope. It's going up. What I mean is, give me the thing. Help me draw. Okay. The middle of the oscillation line, you're seeing the bottom kind of work its way up. The peaks are going like that. So this is our relative amplitude changing. But then right in the middle, you can see that that means that the overall middle of the line is trending upwards. So let me erase all that so you can see it. But this is trending upwards. I feel like that means that we're going to have increased risk of solar storms soon. And that makes sense because Enlil modeled those last a couple days ago's coronal mass ejections to be arriving around February 4th and 5th, and that's tomorrow. So be prepared. Don't be scared. Have exciting thoughts in mind. Don't be thinking fear thoughts, and things will go fine. Now, that doesn't mean that you are to blame if anything goes wrong. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying think happy thoughts, and maybe we'll see more happy thoughts. Listen, I see happy thoughts all the time in Asheville. You just gotta know where to look. These thoughts are living their best life. Okay. Hemispheric power is really high, but we have a -1 KP index, so really low chance of aurora. Looking like, yeah, we're getting back into the northern tilt of the magnetic field. But it looks like Monday we're forecast to have a higher, maybe a KP of 5, so that could be promising. Let's see what the Enlil looks like. We don't have, okay, that was one from yesterday. That's not even the one so the reason that the solar storm that's still on its way doesn't show up on these new model runs is they can only model for one mass ejection at a time, and they currently cannot model wave interference between those mass ejections. So we're just seeing the model for discrete different mass ejections, but like not them overlapping, which could definitely cause some chaotic results. But we're not gonna fault them for that. I mean, technology can only do what it can do. Let's see what we've got from WSA. Let's see, the Space Weather Prediction Center says that we're gonna get the Parker spirals to be okay. They've modeled one little launch here and here, and that was for yesterday. So they're modeling yesterday's launch, yesterday's biggest, and that looks like they've got it going good north and west of us. But we're still going to catch some flank of it. I mean, well, here it looks like more of a direct hit when you're looking at the radial velocity. But that direct hit, again, will be coming the 4th to the 5th. So Sunday into Monday, we're looking for that really good solar storm. So let's see. Currently, there's no noteworthy space weather. Thank you very much. I will be the judge of that. And how am I going to judge that? I'm going to go to the planetary alignments. Whoa. Y'all ever think that maybe the planets are like have an effect on the sun and vice versa? Maybe the planet is just like the middle of the tug of war rope. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, today we had the moon finally making its way complete through Scorpio, and that actually made a pretty beneficial sextile with Mercury, which was sextiling Neptune, which was trining the moon. So I feel like it was an easy day for psychic communication, or like communication being aided by just intuitively getting what someone's trying to say rather than consciously processing. Or turning your conscious processing into subliminal messages. I feel like that's really where we're getting with this stuff. Still seeing decent. No, I'm not seeing any decent squares. I don't think that. Well, the sun's moving into a square with Uranus. It's not quite there yet. We're within 5 degrees orb. And we're still but that I'm not super excited about. Because personally, I hate when the sun squares my sun in Aquarius. It's just not fun for me. But this one's going pretty well, knock on wood. So I think it'll be okay. This sun square Uranus could mean something for earthquakes, though. It looks like the sun is going to square Uranus at the same time that we get our coronal mass ejection storm reaching Earth. So that will be really cool, because really cool to see how this all plays out. Not cool for people in harm's way, cool in the way that it will be really interesting to see how all of this times up, how this lines up. We're also getting Mercury approaching a conjunction to Pluto, and that will be quite interesting as well, because remember that Pluto and Mercury were both kind of trigger points for the last eruption in Iceland. So I will be quite interested to see what comes of that. Now, if this is too mundane for your astrology, let's also note that we do have the sun at a it's kind of at, sun is kind of sextiling Chiron right here. So that might help shed some light on your shadow side and what needs to be brought to the light. I'd call that a rough sextile with Chiron. But Chiron's the wounded healer archetype, so make of that what you will. Did I want to say anything else about this? We still have Jupiter in a strong sextile with Saturn, which I feel like is incredible growth opportunities if you discipline yourself, or growth in the discipline field. Just really like making your ideals tangible reality. I think that's really beneficial. I mean, I'm just biased towards liking Saturn in Pisces because I'm a Saturn in Aquarius, and I'm like, whew, glad that's over. I have a moon in Pisces, so I would love for people to manifest more Pisces energy into the material world. Come on, y'all. We need to get a little more ambiguous with this. Let's get just if people were just a little less certain of things, that would be cool. I think we'd get along if people were just a little less sure of themselves and also not afraid. If you could be uncertain without being afraid, that would be ideal, you know? I mean, not for everyone, and not everybody has to be there, but just let's all get a little bit more comfortable with just sitting with it. You know, Taurus is that meditating bowl, that like Buddha energy, that just sit with it kind of thing. If everybody took just sitting with feelings very seriously, I think this is a beneficial transit for that. And I think that that would do the world a lot of good. So, speaking of that more meditative, sitting with it energy, let's sit with some guidance from the cards. I'm going to charge up with some water. Thank you for being patient with my loud gulping. I don't know how or why, but I learned to drink water in a way that makes me gulp it down really loud. So I've tried to drink other ways, and just usually it doesn't happen. You could say I have a drinking problem. I have a problem drinking water quietly. Okay. That's only funny to me and 3 other alcoholics out there. And I don't think they watch my videos yet. So once you do watch my videos, leave a comment down below. I am talking in these videos as if, you know, if you build it, they will come. You know, people are going to watch this eventually, but we'll see. We'll see. Moving with full faith and intention that this is it doesn't have to be something in the exact format. Just gotta keep doing this for some reason and I'll figure it out. I'm just very sure that this is what I'm supposed to do. I just don't really know why. That's cool though. You don't gotta know why. All right, let's get a little bit of input from the cosmic weather. Let's see what kind of weather is happening in the realm of chaos, the chaos which can be called into our space through the shuffling of cards and the feeling of picking cards based on what works the best. Now, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. All right. I'm wearing my Harry hoodie, and that's not a comment on how clean it is. This is my Harry Styles hoodie that says treat people with kindness. I love that message. I love it. And it's not too nerdy, but it is a secret nod out there to Harry Styles fans. Like, I see you. We're out here. Secret Harry Styles fans. Out here running your city. Uh-oh. They're in your towns. They're in your city hall. Complaining about local government. Harry Styles fans on the loose. Running amok. Okay. Let's do one more cut and... Okay. I get this one a lot. I think it's because it's hard for me to say this message to people because I'm afraid of... I have a tendency to not want to appear victim blaming. And a lot of people in victim mindset take this message the wrong way. And I definitely would have taken it the wrong way for a long time of my life. So it is a hard pill to swallow. The hard pill to swallow is that you don't need to swallow a pill. Physical well-being is only one good thought away. You could have every disease known to man within you today. And if you choose different feeling thoughts tomorrow, they would all leave your body. The key is to not give any unwanted thing much attention. When it doesn't feel good, turn your attention someplace else. Wow, what a concept. really hard to do. Really, really, really hard to do. That's why not everyone can use faith healing, because not everybody has enough faith. Like, it's not something you can say just like, oh, just feel better. It's not as saying that you don't have enough faith if you can't do that. It's sometimes not a material reality. Sometimes you can have all the faith in the world and your thoughts are still bound to your physical form, which is still bound to the matrix of material oppression that we all are under. So you can think the best thought that you possibly can, and that will get you as healthy as you possibly can. And sometimes you need other materials to change that material condition with that. But when you have run out of material ways to change your circumstances, or you've exhausted all those other options, there always is your conscious thought, which is what you have control over, even if it's a mental illness. That's mine, and it's very hard to stop your thoughts. But there are tools out there. There are tools. God, it's really hard to hear this message, at least for me. It's really hard to hear this particular message. That physical well-being is only one good thought away. Like, that takes a level of alignment that is just out of reach sometimes. So I want to pull a different card too, because this one's just super challenging, and I don't feel like everybody's ready to hear that, and it's not going to serve them. So I don't want to leave on just that message. But thank you, universe, for reminding us all that it is possible. Other people are doing it. Very possible. All right, I'm getting 2, so I'm going to go with 2. Gotten this one before. I like that. I am selfish enough to want to feel good, like a little cat laying in the grass. Feeling good indicates your connection to clarity, wellness, and an abundance in all good things. Feeling good is your most natural core belief. You do not have to feel bad. You can feel bad, but it is not necessary. You may have felt bad many, many times, but you can be selfish enough to want to feel good. It is okay to want to feel good. That's a really hard lesson that I don't think I still know, but it is okay to want to feel good. You're not bad because you want to feel good. That's actually human nature, to want to feel good. We're in physical bodies. We want to feel, and we want to feel well. And this is probably the key to that. As I breathe deeply, I feel myself thrive. As I breathe deeply, I feel myself thrive. Thriving is as natural as breathing itself. By relaxing often and breathing deeply, your natural thriving is enhanced. So, I think that makes a lot of sense with these other cards. It's really hard to take these other two, like, you can feel good. You should want to feel good. There's no should, but I am selfish enough to want to feel good. And as I breathe deeply, I feel myself thrive. Look how serene these are. And look how, like, even in me, the person telling you this stuff, look how distressed it makes me to hear such positive messages sometimes. It's natural to feel distress in response to a positive message if you don't, if you don't believe it. That's normal. It's normal to get mad at it's normal to get mad at a good feeling when you haven't had it for so long. Like, y'all ever go to therapy and then get mad that you feel so much better after it? Like, y'all ever have those kind of, or like go get a massage and you get angry at how much better it made you feel? Or do yoga and some get mad that, like, people who told you to do yoga were right? Like, breathing deeply actually helps. Oh, that makes me so mad. Why does breathing deeply actually help so much? That's so frustrating. But it should be liberating and empowering. Anytime you can get mad about something, you can actually get really happy about it. It's just about the way that the energy is converted. It's like how a refrigeration unit can be either cooling or heating. A window unit that can be AC or heat. It all uses the same. It's just which direction is the energy going in? Which direction is the power going in? Anything that can like steam you up could also be cooling you down if it was going in the opposite way. And now how you do that, every single person in every single different body has to figure that out in a different way. That's the kind of weird, sucky thing about being in a physical body is like everybody's key to how you figure out the physical well-being has to be different because we're in different physical forms. There's going to be different challenges, which lead us to different opportunities to overcome them. Some challenges like you'll never even experience. And so you don't get to have that growth opportunity. Like you will just never have that story. But there are some challenges that you're like, why do I have to do this one? Everybody's got to do some type of challenge. And like everybody's got something they do. And if you don't see what somebody else is going through, you just don't see their thing. It's not like it's not there. You just don't see it. That is, I want to put a tarot card for this too, because it feels like we need a little bit more. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's me asking you a question. How can we think better feeling thoughts? How can we feel good? And how can we breathe deeply to thrive? That's what how can we feel good, breathe, thrive, thought good? I swear to the universe, if I get some sort of healer card, I say that and I don't even know card comes to mind as what I would interpret as a healer, but I'm sure it's out there. Oh, probably temperance or something. Yeah, let's go on my turn. Do these two. All right. We've got the Page of Wands upright and the Knight of Swords upright. Now, I personally love the Knight of Swords because it was the card I associated with when I started doing stand-up comedy, because I was just like, you know what? If I want to do it, I could just do it. Just do the thing you want to do. Like, say the words you want to say. That's like, don't be afraid of how it's going to sound or whether you deserve to. Which I guess goes with this feeling good thing. Don't be afraid of how you sound saying that this is how you feel good. And don't be afraid of whether you should or shouldn't feel good. Don't just ride into battle like the Knight of Swords. Thinking into action. Put your thoughts and feelings, really your thoughts and what you know to be true. Put your words here into action. It's kind of fearless and it drives straight into the wind. I love that this is like a very storming card that you can tell the Knight of Swords is running into the wind because the trees are blowing that way and the clouds are blowing that way. I also love that there's clouds on here. And let's see, the Page of Wands, new initiative. Hello. Doing new things, bringing new things. The Page of Wands, the Princess of Wands, coming out from the desert with a beautiful walking stick, repping the salamanders, the yellow, that more masculine. Remember that in the time that these were made, yellow was the masculine form and blue was the feminine form. That masculine land meeting that almost feminine air. But land is earth, but this is desert land, so it's hot land, it's fiery land. So really fiery card feeling. It's also looking up. Page of Wands is also looking up, keeping their head held high. I like that. Take some action. Put your money where your mouth is and take some action. That's what you got to do to feel well. Be selfish enough to feel well. Breathe deeply and feel yourself thrive. Everybody take a deep breath with me. See what arises in your dreams tonight. Maybe if you don't know what you're feeling or thinking or what would make you feel better, see what arises in your dreams tonight. That Mercury, Neptune, and Moon combination feels real dreamy. Feels like some prophetic dreams. Also, if you do the weed, then skip it tonight or some night soon. Your dreams will thank you because it actually really increases your dreams. Now, don't do that if you are using it to medicate your PTSD. I'm not saying that because it really helps you if you don't need dreams. But if you are in a place where you've cleared enough of your trauma that you can dream safely without hurting yourself, then go ahead and do like a test night without and see if you can dream a little more. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for being here. I love you. I love you. I love you. Just really thankful that I get to do this and, thankful that you're here. Have a great night, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other. I love you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.